Welcome to the Airgun Show. In this week's episode I'm taking a look at a remarkable new piece of thermal tech from Zeiss. But before that, I'm heading out to target farmyard rats with the awesome Sightmark Wraith 4K Ultra. Right, it's a warm summer's evening and I'm out targeting rats. Now, it's that time of year when the harvesters are out, the crops are starting to come in, and that's just starting to push a few rats back to the sanctuary of the farm. Now, obviously the real sort of autumn and winter influx is still a little way away, but now is the time to really start chipping away at rats before things start getting out of hand. This farm in particular, it's a mixed holding and there is a lot of attraction here for them, from cattle feed to grain stores and even turkeys. So right through the year there's a few rats here, and like I said, they're just about on the rise now. In terms of the gun that I'm using tonight, I've got the FX Impact Mark II, which is a real regular ratting gun for me, and that is because in the sub 12 foot-pound version, which this gun is, it's 177 caliber. Obviously that relatively low power is brilliant for using around farm buildings, but also it's compact, it's very precise, it's also got a huge magazine capacity, which just makes it a brilliant choice for ratting at night. Optics wise, I'm using the Sightmark Wraith 4K Ultra from Scott Country. Now it's brilliant value, it retails for just £599 and that includes the IR illuminator and mount. In spite of its relatively affordable price tag, the optical quality is terrific, as I can hopefully show you a bit later on. And it's also packed with features. You've got a choice of reticle designs and colours. You can save various different zero profiles. You can also record to a micro SD card, which is going to be useful hopefully for us later on. Now it can run on batteries, but I'm actually using the Sightmark quick detach battery pack tonight, and it just massively extends battery life. I mean, so much so that I've yet to run this one out during a single outing. I really want to get on with the shooting now, so if you want to take a closer look at the Sightmark kit, do have a look at the Scott Country website. Two in really quick succession there. I guess we've been here about half an hour now. We've shot a few rats, so there are definitely a few on the farm already. The important thing is that the Wraith is really doing its job, and it's just enabling me to exploit these opportunities as and when they crop up. the second one that I've had from that spot, and it is very close. It's probably only about 8 meters from where I'm sat, so those shots are needing quite a lot of holdover. Bit of a longer one there. That one was probably about 20 meters, maybe a shade more, so it actually needed a little bit of hold under. I had to wait a bit longer for that shot, but I was still seeing the odd rat moving. They just weren't out in clear shootable spots, so I don't think things are necessarily slowing down just yet. Another pair in pretty quick succession there. Now, I did linger for quite a long time over that first shot, and it was because those rats were really close together, literally overlapping each other. And even when shooting rats, I didn't want to take a shot that risked wounding one of them and basically making it have a lingering death. So I was patient, waited till I could get a clear shot at a single rat. Now, as it happened, it was quite fortunate because the one that bolted didn't go very far, and I was able to quickly pick it off with a headshot. Well, I'm actually going to make that the last one for two reasons. Firstly, the farmer likes us to be gone by midnight so that he can lock up behind us. And secondly, I'm not going to complain because I've had a long day and I've got an early start in the morning, so I won't be sorry to get home. But as I said at the outset, late summer is quite an important time to get out and make a start on some sort of proper rat shooting sessions. Although the sort of real peak season of autumn and winter is still a little way away. As more and more crops come in, more and more rats are going to start moving back onto the farms, and it is important to keep on top of them from the very outset. We've actually seen quite a few more rats than I had actually expected tonight, and it's been a great test for the Wraith 4K Ultra, and I've got to say it's passed with flying colours.
Hunting we will go.
The Sightmark Wraith 4K Ultra doing the absolute business on the rats there. And if that night vision footage wasn't enough to impress you, that digital scope also produces a full colour image by day. Now, next up, it's the Zeiss DTC 338 thermal clip-on. Now, we all know how good thermal cameras can be for spotting and targeting quarry, not just by dark, but also in daylight. Now, what I've got here is the new Zeiss DTC 338 clip-on, which converts your conventional daytime telescopic sight to thermal. Now, at a cool £3,500, this unit isn't cheap, although there is a more affordable 325 model which costs a bit less. As its price tag suggests, the DTC 338 is a high-end model, and it's probably beyond what most people need for airgun pest control. However, it will serve that purpose extremely well for those who are lucky enough to be able to afford it. And of course, you can certainly switch it between airgun and foxing setups. Now, for those of us who can only dream, there is no harm in seeing just how far this technology has come. Right, so the main item of this setup is obviously the thermal camera, and that's about 165mm long, and it weighs around 650 grams. Now, as you can see, it fits to the front of the scope, and if you asked me whether it makes the gun feel front heavy, I would have to say yes. However, if, like me, you do the majority of your night shooting using either sticks or a bipod for support, then it really doesn't make a great deal of difference. Now, I've used units like this in the past that have been a real faff to get on and off. Now, that is certainly not the case with this one, and its quality certainly shines through in its attachment mechanism. Now, that comprises the £80 DTC-R component, which screws into the rear of the thermal camera to create a bayonet attachment. The other DTC-A piece costs £160, and that attaches to the front of your scope via an adjustable quick release lock. Now, there are various sizes. This one is marked 56, denoting that it's 56mm. Now, once you've got that on your scope, all you need to do is align the white dots on both components and push them together. Next, you just twist the outer collar, and that securely locks both pieces really firmly together with absolutely no hint of any movement. Twist the collar into the unlocked position and the camera simply pops off again. Now, the clamp on the scope really is no burden at all, and I'd actually be inclined to leave it on there. It is a very simple, effective and easy to use mechanism, and you could very easily switch the unit between different guns with additional clamps. The DTC runs an onboard rechargeable battery with a continual runtime of up to 10 hours, which should be plenty for most of our shooting. However, if you give the power button a quick press, you can put it into standby mode, which can also kick in automatically, and that extends battery life really significantly. And when it's in that mode, if you give the power button another quick press, the unit comes straight back on and is immediately ready for action. Now, this thermal camera is absolutely packed with features. Now, the turret at the front here is for focusing, and you also get 4 different color viewing palettes. Now, there is white hot, black hot, and red hot, plus rainbow, and you can easily shuffle between them with a quick press of the menu button, and that enables you to choose the one that best suits the conditions that you're shooting in. Pressing and holding the menu button opens up the actual menu, and this enables you to set things like contrast, brightness, and Bluetooth connectivity. Now, it's a very easy menu to navigate, and you simply use the arrow keys, the left and right arrow keys, to scroll up and down, and then press the menu button to make your choices. Now, another thing that you can set via the menu is zeroing profiles. Now, whatever sort of clip-on unit you go for and whatever sort of connector it incorporates, it is almost impossible to avoid some small degree of zero shift because of the additional lenses. Now, what is special about this one is that it enables you to make adjustments so that wherever the pellet or bullet is striking still corresponds exactly with your crosshairs. So you're always guaranteed to be dead on target. I mentioned Bluetooth connectivity, and you can use that to connect the unit to the Zeiss hunting app. Now, that makes it even easier to navigate the menus, and you can also use it for adjusting and saving those all-important zeroing profiles. Now, you can actually save as many as 4 different profiles, which means you could have different profiles saved for different guns, or you could use those different profiles for maybe set them at different ranges or for different ammo with the same gun. As you would expect from a top-class optics manufacturer like Zeiss, the viewing experience through the DTC 338 is amazing. It's got some brilliant glass, top-end sensor, and an absolutely great display. And the result is that it has a detection range of up to almost 2 kilometers for large objects. Now, that makes it a fantastic tool for spotting, but close-up detail is also really, really sharp. Now, any flicker or distortion that you can see on the footage that I've managed to capture, that comes purely from the GoPro that I was using to film through the scope. Some thermal units, and particularly clip-ons, can create an image that is a bit vague and difficult to define, but certainly not this Zeiss. This one gives you the clarity and precision, not just for really clear quarry identification, but to confidently take headshots and with the precision to aim for the exact part of the head that you want to strike. And that makes for really clean, humane kills, even on tiny quarry like rats. Now, as I said before, my scope cam footage doesn't really do it full justice. So that's the Zeiss DTC 338 thermal imaging clip-on. Now, as I said at the outset, it really isn't a cheap item of kit, but it is a high quality, precision optical device that will give excellent service to shooters who are fortunate enough to be able to employ this kind of mega tech in their shooting. Now, it's easy to use and it boasts really clear viewing. I think that it's the best thermal clip-on that I've ever used. I'm afraid that's all we've got time for in this week's episode, but as ever, we'll be back again in a fortnight, and in the meantime you can keep up with me on Instagram at Matt Manning Outdoors. Thank you for watching, and remember, if you aren't already a member of the BASC, have a look at their website and check out the benefits that you could be taking advantage of through Airgun membership.
don't miss the award-winning Airgun Shooter magazine. It's packed with hunting features, reviews, tactics and insight to help you become an even more successful shooter. Get your copy today in shops or online.